All right, hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to continue to talk about, narcissistic gaslighting. That on a Masonic level, that on a deep state level, and what's going on in these people's minds. What's going on in the mind of a rat? What's going on in the mind of a snitch? What was going on in the mind of a tattletale? A tattletale being like a childlike analogy for somebody who was able to gain attention by telling on other people, snitching on other people, spreading rumors, and then when that, they grow up, into high school, and that's spreading rumors and this and that, and they're just getting their little psychological rocks off, in all ways, shapes, and forms. And that being because they were able to make something about them. Okay, so something that wasn't about them, they were able to make it about them and to gain attention. Okay, and so there's about 10 different ways, narcissism being, the bulk, being the selfish attitude, ultimate selfish attitude, and that being about them. But that stems off in about 10 different ways. Okay, so there's about 10 different avenues that they're able to use, and they all lead back to them. Okay, so it's all about them. It always was about them. Okay, and so them planting a seed, might be a way. Like if somebody asks you a question, okay, and this question does not have a right answer, okay, the only thing that you can say is going to be used against you. Okay, and what does that sound like right on the top of my head? That sounds like what the police say when they're talking, they're questioning somebody. They read somebody these little rights. The only thing that you say will be used against you. Okay, and that means being a bigger part of this Hegelian dialect, this deeper part of this deep state, and again, crossing over into the judicial system, which is a whole nother way off topic. You know what I'm saying? But still, a narcissistic point of view and narcissism on ways that it develops and is grown and fueled on your energy, on your back, on your hard work. Okay, and so that stems off, in about 10 different avenues, but it all leads back to them, and it all is about them. And it might be them, greed being one of them. And then be able to maybe make a little bit of money. They might be able to make a little bit of money, and they might have a sales mentality where they're able to sell something or sell somebody something, and but that might be fair, but it could be unfair though too. Envy, so them being jealous of and envious of you, them being jealous and envious of something that you have. And it could be something silly, something trivial, cool, something that you weren't aware that people were jealous of. Okay, you may not be aware that people are jealous of the shoes you have. Okay, so you were able to get new shoes, and people were jealous of your shoes. Okay, and so they might say something silly or tell something this and that, but anyways, they're envious of you. And that being a byproduct of jealousy. Okay, and that can these can cross over in any way, shape, and form, and twisted in the narcissist's mind, this in different ways, and go down all different paths and avenues, this and that, but they all lead back to them and them gaining energy. Okay, so that's the one thing, but you have to understand the different weaves and the different ways that and twists that go on in their mind, and just being okay, well, this and that, and then they're switching this and that, but it all leads back to them, and them gaining energy and gaining value that's their value, is them gaining energy, and they were able to snitch in the rat on you. Okay. And so, once again, you have to avoid these people at all costs. You can't hang out with them. You can't be their friend. You can't call, associate, because anything that you say or do, they're going to try to use that against you. Okay. Anything you say or do, they're going to try to snitch and to spread rumors. Okay. So they start spreading rumors and, talking about people behind their back and, mentioning that you did this and that, and that might be negative. It might be negative in some other people's mind, that you did something that was negative and blah, 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 or you did something that was, this and that. They're able to gain attention, but also they were able to maybe sabotage your relationship in some type of way, shape, or form, because they were able to tell somebody something, this and that. And so, but once again, however that twists and goes on, it all leads back to them and leads back to them, gaining this type of energy, and so, the 10 different ways, it's basically, all of the jealousies, the envious, the greed that they have, and that just being, about 3 of them. And I may want to do a whole nother little segment about, these 10 different ways that narcissist can stem from, but it all being about them and this selfish attitude for them to gain attention, and this missing void. So they have a void in their soul. Once you get to the Masonic level, this void that's missing in their soul, that needs to be filled. Okay. And it needs to be filled with something, and that being your energy, your hard work. Okay. So, I don't want to see you, and anybody else for that matter, put a lot of hard work into something like this, and then to have a toxic relationship with somebody that's not ever going to change. Okay. So the narcissist isn't going to change. They're not going to change their ways. It could be possible, but the amount of work that they would have to do on their own psychological self and this and that, it's pretty much slim to none, of that happening. And I wouldn't count on that happening, because they're getting off big time on it. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you put all this hard work in, you did all this hard work, and they were able to sabotage it. They were able to tattletale on you. They were able to snitch on you, and that the different ways, the greed, the jealousy, the envy, going on, them being able to steal all that energy from you, and it all leading back to them. Okay. It all leads back to them, and it, being about them, and so, I'm gonna wrap this one up. So, 10 different ways, getting into that. I'm gonna do that one later. So I just said a few of them: greed, jealousy, and envy. We'll start with 3, for this one, but that just being a basic. See, you probably could make a schematic of this, you know what I'm saying? Probably, because it's it becomes such a psychological deal, it becomes even difficult to explain. So just 3: jealousy, greed, and envy. If you start to notice that people are having these psychological traits, and then they're snitching, you start to notice that they're snitching, they're ratting, they're tattletelling behind your back, saying you're going to have to figure out a way to cut these people out of your life or not talk to them, because anything that you can say will be used against you. Okay. So they're just going to use it way against you. Okay. They're going to flip it and spin it to serve their own agenda, which is that missing void that's in their life. Okay. All right.